Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bank, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Daria. We have with us Riya Singh, technical analyst, Currencies, joining in. Riya, overall, if you go to see yesterday's session as well, the RBI came out and made a couple of comments with regards to how they would be supporting, from here on. However, with that, what's the kind of impact do you think we've seen on the Indian rupee? And from here on, what is it that could be expected?
Yes, Cyril. If you look at the statement, so the whole uh, statement that was released was, revolving around the support that will be there into the economy, but towards the healthcare sector, most probably. The whatever the amount that was announced, that is around 350 billion rupees, was towards the debt purchases, uh, and the loan relief that will be given to the businesses and SMEs who have not availed of the moratorium before. Now, the relaxation that the central bank has given to the banks with respect to lending the party who are engaged into manufacturing of the vaccine, importer, supplier of vaccine, and so forth. I think that is a very good step that they have taken in order to get the vaccination, uh, faster and working towards getting the economic recovery back on track, which was hit by the second wave altogether. So I think the impact on the rupee will be central banks will also be working towards maintaining the rupee as stable for at least on a shorter term. So the range that one can see for the Indian rupee is likely between 74.44 to 73.50 levels, at least on a shorter term, because we are seeing even though there is a there is an uptick into the dollar index happening, not much of a effect is happening onto the rupee altogether. So I think there is a central bank stepping its foot in getting the rupee stabilized, though on a very shorter pace, but still it's happening. So that is a good front for the rupee. So you can probably see the rupee in the range of 74, 73, 50 on a shorter term.
Right, so that's with regards to where the Indian rupee is concerned. Now, moving on, if you have to look at the British pound, you have Bank of England, which is expected to meet next. How do you see the British pound moving from here on? Because it started the week with strong gains. Yesterday's session, the pound settled slightly lower. Uh, the British economy continues to perform well, and the recovery is gaining traction there as well. Because if you talk about the manufacturing PMI in April, that came in at almost 60.9, and it was revised upwards from 60.7 earlier. So, taking all the parameters into consideration, what's the sense that you pick up with regards to where the British pound goes from here on?
So I think the British pound will remain supportive. Talking about the Bank of England's policy meet that is coming up, I think they'll continue to maintain the inflation target at 2%, and the the target that they have maintained for the bond purchase will remain 150 billion pounds for the year. Now the thing that we need to see is what is the pace of buying that will happen towards these bond purchases, because like you said, the numbers are coming quite good. There is a indication of economic recovery that is happening. So it is anticipated that the pace of the bond buying will be slower year on. And if this does happen, this will again boost the sentiment that they can gain upgrade into the forecast for growth, as well as inflation from the governor Andrew Bailey, if all the numbers does come in line with the expectations. So the outlook for the pound remains positive, at least on a shorter term, unless the central bank does come in order to relax the pound a bit, in order to the boost the cross border trades. Otherwise, the path does look bullish for pound.
Right. And overall, if you see with regards to where the US dollar goes, what's the kind of movement are you expecting with the upcoming taxation increase that is expected to come in? Because clearly Biden has made it very clear that he's going to probably raise almost $1.5 trillion by taxing the rich.
Yeah, so what President Biden is working towards is getting, getting the revenue increase, the government revenue increase through making some adjustment into the tax so that the pressure on the borrowing could be lower down for the government altogether. Now, this he'll be doing by proposing a 40% inheritance tax. Now, this will affect uh, only the high key taxpayers or 1% of the group. So altogether, if this does come into existence, it will boost the revenues for the government, but still it's a long way. There will be a lot of discussion and a fight that will be put forward to. So this is still in a pipeline discussion, like other Biden's what do you say, the influx that he's planning to put into the economy with pertaining to the education and the real estate. So these three are the main agenda that is there onto his cards right now in order to boost the revenue and to bring the pressure down on the government borrowing. The way it will affect the dollar, I don't think so. It will affect directly right now because it's still into the pipeline and still a long way to go. So I think the momentum of the dollar will be based on what are the numbers that will be coming forward to with respect to the economic recovery. Now, we were expecting quite a good numbers from the employment numbers, especially. So the non-farm employment numbers have come slightly negative than the expected, but still the prospects look positive for the US altogether. So there might be some intraday downtick that can happen, but overall, I think dollar index will remain broadly into the range of 90 to 15, 90.50, widely into this range.
Right, so that's with regards to where the dollar index goes. Very lastly, Riya, what are the strategies that you would want to recommend?
The strategies that one can look into is going short on the USD/INR below the level of 73.86. Keep a strict SL at 74.05. The target you can aim for is 73.66, 73.45. You can go long into the Euro INR. So we are seeing quite a bullish stand on the Euro altogether. So you can buy into the Euro INR above 89.21 for a target of 89.36, 89.44. Keep a strict SL at 89.05. Go short into the JPYINR as well, below the level of 67.76. Keep a strict SL at 67.93 for a target of 67.50. So there is a lot of fluctuation that is happening into the domestic shares. So make sure that you maintain this stop loss and follow it rigorously, because if there is any intervention coming from the central bank, it will definitely push the rupee lower, and this can have an simultaneous effect on the other domestic pair as well. So maintain stop loss into the domestic pair, at least on a shorter term, and follow it very religiously.
Right, so these are strategies that one should be looking at as well. Thank you, Riya. Thank you, participants, for joining in. Thank you.
Thanks.